Hello there. So, today I am going to be reviewing Pretties, the next book in the Uglies series. My last book review was Uglies, and so it made sense to carry on with the series. Although my next book review isn't going to be specials, because specials and extras, I don't have them yet, and I've got other books that I do have with me that I want to read, so I thought I'll do those and then I'll come back to the series. Anyway, first things first, I think Pretties is better than Uglies. I love the stories equally, but I think the pace of this one is just nicer. It pretty much comes straight in with a good storyline, and it's a lot more fast paced the entire way through, which although some people might argue that's too fast, I prefer that because I was never bored. I always wanted to carry on reading. It was actually the point where the day that I finished, the whole day at school, I was just waiting to come home and finish the book. That's got to be a good thing. So I definitely prefer this one. What I also like about it is the fact that we've met a couple of new characters, and every character, whether we've just met them, we've only sort of know them a little bit, or we know them quite deeply, every character's got a sort of, it feels like they've got a history even if we don't know it, and they feel like they are real, which should be an aim of an author, I think, so that's good. I also like that the styles kind of changed in this book, because the Pretties have a different way of talking to each other than the Uglies do, and the specials, who, all of these people you'll have to read the book to find out, or you could always look at a spoiler review. But the Pretties have got a very distinct way of talking, which it takes a while to sort of understand, but it's something that you just pick up, and that's what's nice about the language used, and that's why Scott Westerfeld is clever, because you just pick up the language. Although I have started using it in my own language occasionally, like I've started saying like bogus and things, and happy making. My friends are like, what? So they obviously need to read the book. The only problem I have is just that I think a few of the things that happen in this book are just a little bit unrealistic. Obviously it's set in the future by about 300, 400 years, and a lot can change between now and then, and it doesn't have to be realistic because it's set in the future, but I do still feel like it should maintain a certain level of truth for the main message of the book to get across, which is, first of all, what we're doing to our planet. That's a huge key message in this series, and also how our view of people can change us for the worse. And I think with some of the things that happen, it makes it too distant, because it's like, oh well, that's not realistic, so no. But I still appreciate that, you know, it's a book, whatever. I'm going to try not to give anything away with this next sentence or next section, but if I do give anything away, I'm really sorry. So warning, there may be an accidental spoiler. But it says at the end of here, cliffhanger ending, which there definitely is. But knowing what happens in this book, and the title of this book, and what happened in the previous book and that title, I know exactly what's going to happen in the next book. I don't know exactly, but I know the general gist, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not too bothered about having to give up the series for a little bit, because I feel like I'm kind of fairly aware of what's going to happen. I can see where it's going. That's a little bit frustrating, but you know, what can you do? I think that having read half of the series now, or over half of the trilogy if you want to take extras as being something not important, then I would definitely suggest this series, trilogy, whatever you want to call it, as it's thrilling and exciting and kind of Hunger Games-y, as it so cleverly mentions on the front. Before Hunger Games there was, but no, I definitely would recommend it. It's just fun, and it makes you think. I've got hiccups. It makes you think, and I like that in a book. but not in too much of a stressful way, just in a, what would I do in that situation? Oh God, imagine if humanity actually ended up like that kind of way. Of course, I will leave you with a quote as per usual, and that quote is from Tally, and she says, "Nature doesn't need an operation to be beautiful, it just is." And she actually says that in the first book, but she says it a couple of times in this book, and it's quite important because she spends a lot of time out of the city. That's not a spoiler, it's just not in the city, okay? Bye.